flavor of Tampa Bay, Ian Beckles here with former NFL star Chris HOVAN. We're in this beautiful abode, and a couple days ago there was some big news that happened. Lovie Smith got fired, and Chris, where were you when you heard Lovie Smith got fired?
Actually, I wake up at 5 in the morning, and then I see like those CBS like breaking news alerts, and that's where when I really found out that the Bucs decided to move on.
Well, I was the same as you. I woke up in the morning, had a bunch of texts and tweets that Lovie Smith got fired, and I thought that he kind of weathered the storm when he had the meetings with the players the next day, and I think he did as well. And if you saw Jason Light at the press conference, he seemed like he was saying goodbye to a good friend, and it's unfortunate. Now, do you think Lovie did enough this year to keep his job?
I think he did. I think that with the hand that he's been dealt, for him to make that improvement from, was it 2-14 to 6-10?
Correct.
And they shoulda, coulda, woulda. They should have won 2 or 3 more games to be competitors in the wild card. But at the same token, though, I think they were making improvement. But for some token, I don't know if it's like Dirk Cutter. I don't know if the threat of him leaving. I'm not really sure, but the owners decided to pull the plug.
Now, it had to be Dirk Cutter had to be the link that kind of got him going, I think, because to me, I think Dirk Cutter was one of the biggest parts with his relationship with Jameis Winston, and other teams are coming out looking for Dirk Cutter as a head coach. Now, is that enough to fire your head coach because you don't want to lose your offensive coordinator?
It's the threat of losing somebody, and that's a big problem in football. It's always that whiplash effect. Are we going to lose this guy? Are we going to lose this guy? And for some reason, Dirk Cutter got interviewed in Miami, or a potential Miami interview, and all of a sudden that brought up the stable. So Glaze is always unpredictable.
Yeah, they are. Now you have to kind of question, I guess, the loyalty of Dirk Cutter as well, because you have to figure, you've been in the game and you know how the front office works. You know that the Glazers and Jason Light and Brian Ford talked to Dirk Cutter before Lovie Smith was fired. That had to have happened.
It's the same thing that happened when the Glazers talked to Raheem.
Correct.
And I don't know if it's cyclical by any means, but the same token, I don't know what's going on, and I'd be really, really weary if I was coming to interview for the Bucs job right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a great place to be, and if you're Dirk Cutter, I think it's the best situation because you already know that young quarterback, and things are looking up, we'll say, because when Dirk Cutter, if he becomes a head coach, he's not going to have the same pressure on him as Lovie Smith would have had. Lovie Smith had to go to the playoffs next year. If Dirk Cutter comes in and goes 8-8, then he's 8-8 as a head coach. Lovie Smith, I think, had the pressure that he had to go to the playoffs next year.
Having the #1 pick in the draft, that's a huge hill to climb. If you're a head coach, and now you bank on that quarterback to succeed. And, if you look at Ryan Leaf, what happened? Just went down the other way. But thank God that Jameis Winston has been a blessing for Tampa Bay, and I think they need an offensive presence to be head coach down here, because I think the future is in Jameis and Mike Evans, and so wherever they go in the future, it's all on Jameis.
Now, I think one of the big factors of Lovie getting fired was the Buccaneers in the last 2 years have made the same mistakes over and over. You have guys like Mike Evans getting ejected out of the last game. Now, you played for a lot of great coaches. I played for Tony Dungy, and I've been around coaches like Bill Parcells. You're not going to do that on a Dungy or Parcells team. What could Lovie have done different to have these young guys act differently?
It's all the demeanor of the coach. It really is. And that's why Bill Belichick is who he is, and that's why Vince Lombardi, who was who he was. It's that demeanor. It's that respect. It's everything that you call upon your players. So then when everything hits the fan, all of a sudden you're not in chaos. All right, come back to balance. It's like Rob Marinelli used to say. He's like, all right, so your curveball's not working. No, it's not working. Your slider's not working. No, it's not working. How about you throw your fastball?
Yeah. Fastball being bull rush, probably.
Pretty much.
There you go.
Pretty much.
Well, I mean, back in the day when Rod Marinelli and all those guys were here, I think they were better equipped, and especially Tony Dungy. I knew what he was doing when he was trying to build this team.
Right.
I'm not sure they know what they're doing right now, because when you go out there and you spend all this money on free agents, and they come here and they're some of the worst players on your team, maybe somebody in pro personnel needs to be, checked a little bit. Maybe.
I don't know about that, but as long as you delegate responsibility, I mean, that's all you have to do. I mean, this is your job.
Yeah.
Do your job at the best that you can do, and that's it.